in Central America. Anyway, Japanese have built a bridge. Do you know the story? And they promised that whatever storm would come, this bridge would stand. And this big storm came, and an incredible amount of rain poured down. And the Japanese were right. The bridge survived. The environment didn't. All the soil was washed away, all the roads. The riverbed runs now half a mile away from the bridge. And this bridge is standing in the middle of a sandy plain with both ends open, very monumentally. And the Japanese are coming with planes and taking photographs. So I think that would be a danger for the church to become that kind of bridge. We speak about building bridges, but the world is changing so rapidly around us, and I think that sometimes we are challenged not to become such a bridge with our, let's say, 16th or 19th century approaches in the middle of 21st century, and we should actually look for ways and methods or understandable language and viable language how we could speak relevantly our message to the world today. For Latvian Church, one of the biggest problems or biggest mission achievements would be if we would could keep in the church actively all those whom we baptize and convert. I think we have lost in the last 10 years some 80,000 people who just dropped out quietly. They were baptized, confirmed, and after a while they do not come anymore. I don't know whether that's the same here, but this is a big problem. If we could change this. And some pastors have tried to replace the traditional confirmation classes, let's say, with Alpha course. The result is that a much bigger portion of those who come to the confirmation classes stay in the church actively. So they have found at least some ideas how to change our traditional ways. I think in this particular period in Latvia, for the church to be relevant, to preach the gospel relevantly, the church must be diachronic. There is no other way. It must be diachronic to be heard, to be appreciated, to be understood. Well, first, one thing I would like to mention is that one challenge for the apostolic doctrine is that the doctrine or the teaching of apostles was not merely a theology, it was life. And it is somehow very easy that the doctrine separates from the Christian way of life. Maybe you have seen brilliant teachers of theology, but their life is not following that teaching. And I think this is the challenge for the church, how to keep the theology, the faith, and the life together. And I think we have now in Latvia lots of groups of New Age, Buddhism and meditation and other things, and people have big interest in that because they offer practical teaching how to develop their spiritual life, how to grow spiritually. And the church sometimes falls short in that. Well, actually, the church can very well explain how the Holy Spirit works, but it is sometimes more difficult to demonstrate that in their own lives and to teach the people to live in spirit, to walk in spirit. So I think in the immensely rich treasure of the church, there are all things that all new cults cannot dream of. We just have to make a vision in that, an inventory and put it in use. Well, I'm sorry if I would say the last thing. The third mark of apostolicity is if the church is in apostolic mission. Recently, I was in a Conference of European Churches Assembly in Lyon, and there was a big struggle just to put in the resolutions and the documents of this assembly that this activity, the working of Conference of European Churches, should contain also a mission aspect. There was a huge resistance to that, to get mission mentioned in these documents. I am still the member of project committee of Lutheran Federation DMD, that means Department for Mission and Development. Somebody said me, if you want to know the true priorities, do not listen to words, but look into the budget. And if we see in the budget of DMD, so you see millions which go for development, like building water pipes and different facilities, and very little part for really projects which could be described as mission. And even the donors, the churches who give money, they do not support actually projects where it's much about proclaiming gospel, proclaiming the word of God. And the poor churches have learned very smartly not to write such projects where it's about proclaiming gospel. And there was one project coming from Europe, from one European church, trying to deal with youngsters in the metropolitan, in a big city, on suburbs with the immigrant youngsters, Muslim youngsters, and it was specially stressed in this project description, we do not intend to turn these youngsters in Christians. We do not want to proselytize. Well, I don't know whether we can rely or trust informations, especially sensational informations about what we find in the internet. But day before yesterday, I got a message in my mailbox, and there was a link to the internet, and I watched it. So it says like this. Maybe it's too sensational, but it shows a tendency. It says that a culture cannot survive if the birth rate is lower than 2.11 children per family. So in history, no culture has recovered from a situation where the birth rate has been below 1.9 child per family. But in year 2007, average birth rate in European Union was 1.38. In Spain, I don't remember, but in Spain I remember was 1.1. I think in Latvia it's even below that. Also given the mass emigration now from Latvia to other countries for searching for jobs. So it states this source that the demography of Europeans was in a downward spiral beyond the point of return. You can't save Europeans anymore. However, the number of people in Europe is growing because of Muslim immigrants. And birth rate in Muslim families in France is 8.1 child per family. And just after these calculations, just 16 years separate us from time when 1/3 of European children will be born in Muslim families. In 40 years, France is thought to be a Muslim country, Germany in 50 years. And we say we don't want to turn them into Christians. And the churches are shy speaking about Jesus Christ to the world. And I think this is a challenge truly to ask ourselves, why are we here? Why do we have our great churches for? The properties and all the assets, our vestments, our liturgy, our priests, our bishops, ourselves.